Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are safe. I wanted to share with you instructions for the final step for getting set up for our class. So remember, first step, number one, you need to sign up for or apply to MPC through the California Community College System. So you apply for MPC, they'll give you a student ID number, and then you can complete step number two, which is to fill out your dual enrollment paperwork and submit that. Then MPC will confirm that they've received your dual enrollment paperwork, and you can do step number three, which is to register for History 17. Once you have registered for History 17, you're ready to do this step, step number four, which is to activate your Lobo Apps account. So I'm going to show you today how to activate your Lobo Apps account. First thing you're going to want to do is go to mpc.edu. You're going to want to have your student ID number handy, your MPC student ID number handy. When you get to the MPC website, always up here at the top, you're going to see Lobo Apps. You're going to click on Lobo Apps, and that will open a new window. Once your new window is opened, it's going to ask you for a username and a password. Your username is your MPC email, and your MPC email is going to be your first initial, last name, followed by the last four digits of your student ID number. Okay, so for me, I don't have a student ID, I just have a faculty ID. So my faculty ID is just my first initial, last name. But for you, it's going to be your first initial, your last name, and the last four digits of your student ID number. So let's assume my student ID number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then my user ID would be mstafford6789 at mpc.edu. Now we get even more confusing is your initial password. This is going to be a new password. This is not a password that you have created yet. You're going to create it later. So the instructions, I also linked in the email. I linked the instructions page, right, which is basically just telling you everything that I've told you here. So you always go back and reference that or watch this video again. But your initial password, if you have never created an MPC password before, you have a temporary password, and that temporary password is right here. It is capital A1 asterisk, first four letters of your last name, all in lowercase, last four numbers of your student ID. All right, so let's go back to my hypothetical situation. If this is my username, then my password would be capital A1 asterisk, just like this, capital A1 asterisk, plus the first four letters of my last name, so STAF, all lowercase, and then, so first four letters of your last name, all in lowercase, and then the last four numbers of my student ID, 6789. Okay, so I would enter those two things. If I had never established a Lobo Apps account before, that's what I would be doing. I would click login, and hopefully it would take me to my Lobo Apps dashboard. If, on the other hand, you have an account before, right, you can see down here, there's a note that if you've already created a password in the old system, the password you created should work, not the temporary one shown above. So this is for people who have registered and used Lobo Apps before, and you would know if you've used Lobo Apps before. Okay, once you click that login button, it takes you to a screen like this. The most important part for you here is going to be Canvas. So you're going to click on Canvas. That's going to take you to a dashboard that will show you all of the courses that you are currently enrolled in. It will show up for you as a tile. I'm going to have a couple here, but you should only have one unless you're enrolled in another MPC course. Then you'll have one for each MPC course that you're enrolled in. But you should have one that says either section 1254 or 1255 for the fall of 20. History 17, 1254, or History 17, 1255. 1254 again is 6th period. 1255 is 7th period, and it should be fall 20. That'll be what shows up for you. You're going to click on this. It's going to take you to our Canvas page, and then we are off and running. Okay, so we'll go over Canvas together in class, but I want to make sure everybody is there by next week. If you are able to get there this week, I will have the quiz up starting tomorrow. If you are not able to get there this week, I will put the quiz on Google Classroom as a Google Form quiz. So I'll have it there. You can take it on Google Classroom if you're not into Canvas by the end of this week. I'd really love to have everybody ready to go on Canvas next week so we can start finding our way around Canvas before we get into too much more detail in the class. All right, so stick with it. You guys are kind of learning why college can be challenging sometimes, It's just a lot of new stuff, and you're kind of on your own. So be sure to reach out. But I made this video, I hope, to answer all the questions that you would have as you go through this process. So make good use of your resources and let me know if you have any trouble figuring it out. All right. Thanks a lot. Be safe, and I'll see you soon.